I want to send my condolences to the family of PnB Rock on his unfortunate passing via senseless crime and murder. I want to send my thoughts and my prayers to his family, the community, all the fans that loved his music and loved him around the world, and just the broader hip hop and R&B community as a whole, um, and just the Black community for once again having to see this trauma being played out in this unfortunate cycle of violence. Many different people are having their takes about what's going on. I wanted to add mine because it's been bothering me. It's not just about him, it's about the cycle that of violence that's been occurring. And I just wanted to mention the aspect of, um, how the Bible talks about this, because it's human nature. We have people who are approaching from different angles, and both are valid when you put them into context. So you have one set of people who are mentioning um, how things should be, meaning that criminals should not rob and murder people. You should be able to do this, you should be able to do that. Then you have the other side of people who are talking about the wisdom and preventative measures and using foresight and insight into your situation, about the reality of the life in this country and just in impoverished areas, or um, when there is a disparity of wealth or circumstance between people. I think both are valid within their context. And what's absolutely clear is that you should not, murder is unacceptable. Committing crimes against other people are unacceptable, particularly violent crimes. Um, I do believe that it is important to move a certain way, especially, it doesn't matter what your profession is, but particularly as an entertainer, um, whether you are under a label or not, in a sense, you are your own business. Um, you're a brand, and that has to be protected. You're no longer just your own person. You're a public figure, a public entity, and you have to carry yourself like that. One of the things that a lot of us have been suckered into is this belief of what we're supposed to be, particularly as young Black men. It's, you're not real enough if I can't walk around with security. If I have to walk around with security, I'm not real because I'm scared. But then if I don't do it and then I get killed, then you say I should have had security. So we put this enormous amount of pressure on us to be really just to fall into the trappings of white supremacy, of how we're supposed to be these subhumans who are, we lead more with our brawn and our brute than our intellect and our wisdom. And it's not fair. It's promoted through the messaging in the media, whether that's in the news, whether that's on social media, whether that's in the music. And there's expectations that aren't on other groups. Um, so it's almost like you can't use God-given wisdom to your benefit because you're trying to prove yourself. Um, if you do, then especially if you're talking about certain stuff, then you're not real. Now, if you've been a nerd from the beginning, then yeah, they don't care. They still aren't. You in certain areas, you're not going to be as respected, which is another problem. But what I wanted to mention is, from a biblical perspective, the story of Joseph and the coat of many colors. So in the Bible, Jacob, aka Israel, he had 12 sons, 12 tribes of Jacob, of Israel. And they said that he loved one son more than the others. He favored one son over the others. And that was Joseph. And Joseph in addition to being favored by his father, he was given visions and dreams by God. And that, coupled with the gifts that his father was showing him, particularly, it talks about the coat of many colors, it set him apart. And by setting him apart outwardly with the coat of many colors, and then with Joseph's own beliefs, because of the dreams and the visions he was having, that he was going to be set higher than his brothers, it caused them to want to kill him, to want to remove him from their environment so that things could go back to a sense of normalcy for them, because they were all looked at particularly even, in their father's eyes compared to Joseph. So instead, they wanted to kill him, but one of the brothers suggested that they just sell him into slavery. So basically, he doesn't die, but he gets to be owned by another person who could do treacherous things to him, and basically live, die a slow death, because you lose your identity once you become somebody's slave. So that's what they did. They put he was put in the pit, and he was recovered, and he was sold into slavery. He went through a series of things, which I'm not going to get into, but at the end, he was able to become what God said he was going to become, and he was over his brothers. He was over his father, and that was God's destiny. So what I get from that story and how I apply it to just our present day situation, human beings have always been envious of others. When you take anybody that's within the population and they become an anomaly, they stand out, people are going to not look at them favorably. They're gonna have envy. They're gonna start to develop hate in their heart because of the inferiority that they might feel, or just the fact that you came from among us, but yet, why can't we have what you have? Why can't I be the one that is shining? Why can't I be the one that is wearing this coat of many colors, that is favored? And when it's coming from on high, in this case, it's coming from his father. It's coming from his earthly father and his heavenly father. They had a problem with it. So even in the physical sense, they had a problem with it. And that's how it relates to what is going on. They have a problem with you shining. They have a problem with, because they're not in that situation. Their lives, they seem hopeless. Or even if they are getting it, they're not getting it how you're getting it. Everybody always wants to go to the top, but the reality is only 1 or less than 1% of the human population will ever see the highest of the highs that life could offer. That's why, Christianity and other religions, they stress heaven, they stress the afterlife, they stress the blessings that come from being faithful to God, because this earthly living is only but a moment, but you have the rest of your eternity to go to either heaven or hell. But it's hard when you're in the moment. My heart goes out to, again, his family, his friends, fans around the world, the greater Black community, community in LA. It's unfortunate what's going on out there. I always try to use wisdom wherever I go, to as best as I can prevent things from occurring in the first place. With that being said, you still can't control what other people are doing. All you can do is minimize their opportunities to do things. If I was that rich, I probably wouldn't be in certain places showing all of my wealth, because of the probability and the likelihood of a negative occurrence happening goes up. But if you choose to do that, if you choose to wear the outfit, because it is a character, if you choose to wear the outfit, be the character everywhere, then protect yourself. You are the greatest investment. Your health, your wealth, your life is the greatest investment that you have, and it's worth paying the money if you're gonna move like that. Um, if you're rich and wealthy, uh, they're always going to have, especially if they're intelligent, they're going to have a security team, someone that is over it that says like you're supplying a source of income, and um, you're your own entity now. It's not about you and what you personally would want. So we have to protect it. You can't be posting your locations. You can't um, just move around like you don't have it when you're showing everyone you have it. Or even if you're not showing it, you've shown it already, or the media has shown that you're a millionaire or a billionaire. You can't just walk around like you're not. Even if 99% of the people aren't going to do anything, there's always that 1%. And when someone has the drop on you, when they have intentions of doing something to you and you're not protected, they're always going to win. 99 times out of 100, they're going to win because you don't see it coming. And that's what the preventative measures are for. It's so that you can create barriers around yourself to prevent that, to make that 1% to be like 0.1%. It's the same reason why we put locks on our doors in our houses, in our apartments, on our cars. Same reason why people arm themselves. It doesn't mean that people still can't try, but it makes it a lot harder for them to. Even with all of that, it's still 100% wrong for someone to rob you, for someone to kill you, for someone to violate your space. We are creatures made by God, in God's image, and none of us deserve to be murdered. None of us deserve to be taken from our families. There's no amount of justification for that, oh, you didn't do this, or oh, you should have known this is blah, blah, blah. It's still wrong. In these gangs, it's because of, it's a lot of, I'm not going to go into it, but it's unfortunate that the communities have devolved in that way. But it's the reality. It's the reality, and it should not be overlooked. It needs to be dealt with, and it's going to take a lot of healing, and it's a lot of systematic things that need to be undone, as well as opportunities that need to be presented in order to overcome these things. And I just don't see it happening anytime soon, unfortunately. So again, my heart goes out to it. It rubbed me the wrong way. It really hurt me when I saw that, because although I wasn't following his music in depthly, like I knew who he was, and I'd seen him over the years. I was, listening to some of his songs, and he was very talented. He could sing and he could rap. And he wasn't really, he made some mistakes, but he wasn't on anything crazy. He wasn't really about nothing crazy. So even if he was, it still wouldn't have mattered. But it's just unfortunate. It's just sad. And it just I really don't have much else to say. It just, I don't know what else can be done in this present time to stop it. It's going to take a huge undertaking on a lot of different areas for things like this to stop. But until then, you got to know, like, this happens on the bare bones physical level, but it's also a big spiritual component, which is what I was getting at. There's a spiritual component to why this happened. And this is just a structural component to why this happened. It's on many levels. It's not just one. But, my heart goes out. It goes out to your family. It goes out. I'm sorry that happened to you.